Are we holding on or holding ourselves back? Let me get some context behind that. Sometimes we hold on to things that we know are either toxic or we can outgrow them. And the problem becomes is that we waste time, energy, and space not wanting change, not wanting growth, not wanting new habits or new adventures to come about. Like you finally figured out what's the puzzle in your game. You finally figured out what you want to do daily. You got it down packed. And here, right now, at this moment, you have to try a new learning curve. Many wise people say you never stop learning. But what if you're a person who decides, cut something off and says, and said to yourself, this is it for me. I do not want to proceed any further. I have this lock, stock, and barrel. I know what my routine is, and I do not want it to change. Nothing's absolute, nothing is forever. However, we know there are large things of the latter like death, sickness, accidents. Those things occur and happen. But we're talking about you being in relationships with friends, relationship with loved ones, parental relationships, sibling relationships. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about people. Are you having a hard time letting go? Are you having a hard time dealing with your success? Or are you having a hard time dealing with someone else's success? Let's be real. Let's be 50-50. There's yin and yang. We have haters and we have congratulators. And we got people who just run their own race and never pay attention to other people's stuff going on, which is also a thing. We don't stop and speak to someone. Time goes by, and next thing you know, you have all this success, you have all these trophies, you have all these accolades, but you have now not one friend to talk to. Are we holding on or holding ourselves back? Think about that. Have you ever sabotaged a relationship? Have you ever held on to a relationship in hopes a person would change or you would outgrow them? This seek and destroy atmosphere that we have developed in ourselves is a huge problem. And though I'm not a licensed clinical doctor, I just know there are things that are just graduating further and further to be more toxic. And it's becoming a problem in our society. It's becoming a problem when you know you're dealing with a toxic person, and rather than deal with your own personal loneliness, you find things to like about that person that just don't add up to putting yourself in mental danger, physical danger, or the people around you in danger. What do you do with that? I would love to hear some people's anecdotal information about that. Share your stories. Not dictate to what they should do, but share your story. If you could share your story about how you made the separation in this instance, where you knew a relationship was toxic for you, but you held on because you didn't want to be alone, because you haven't replaced that emotion with anything else. Are you scared of dealing with yourself? What did you do to solve that problem? Or are you currently in that predicament? There are so many things and so many avenues which this subject can be legal tender. I must say that I'm an emotional eater. And letting go of emotional eating, which means I have to find another resource to find my refuge. And what would that learning curve look like for me? Food is delicious. So many others have other issues. Some people have alcohol problems, drug addictions, um, you know, corn addictions. These things are happening. But how do you let go of what you're holding on to because you're holding yourself back? Some people, and we're going to go real deep here, some people have outgrown their spouses. You can't leave them hanging. So you just sit there with them holding yourself back. Some people have outgrown their environments. Some people have outgrown their parents, their siblings, their friends, all these people around them. What is the solution for these things? Those who have achieved this solution just say it all willy nilly, but there is obstacles in front of that. There are bridges that need to be built in your mind to make this kind of change, or disagreements and agreements you have to make with yourself. Trauma bonding, anecdotal acknowledgement of your personal refuge. What do you refuse to take on right now? Because we're just talking about this, but in addition to bills, life, stress, drama, things you digest and ingest, that's all added on top of these decisions on why you move how you move. We live in a society today. We have online, we have offline. But how many people really have friends offline? How many people have that real intimacy level? I'm talking about something where you actually go sit in another person's living room with them and y'all just sit and talk. No TV, no holding up the phones. Y'all just hanging out because y'all enjoy each other's company, telling old stories. Maybe some coffee, maybe some tea, maybe some libations. That's up to you. But I remember a time where I could sit around my friends and it was fantastic. And the hours would go by just being in their company and embracing each other. But that's kind of old fashioned now. The new generation of people operate through these devices. They operate through this hope of human relations through the feeling of sounds. And if you ever heard me speak before, you know that we rock to the beat of our own drums. And to me, we are each other's greatest mixtape. The beats in our hearts, the volume, we control the snares, the drums, what the hook gonna be. And those things hook you in. There's a knowledge, there's a frequency we speak to each other. And that creates your circle, and that creates your environment, and that creates your opportunities, and then that creates your upkeep or your downfall. Are we holding on or holding ourselves back? I would love for some people to come in this fan base room and have this conversation. But since we're new to fan base and those who are listening right now, other platforms you may be listening on, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, I'm on Fanbase. And if you never heard of Fanbase before, it is a audio app with other details. It has other great things, but it's mostly, for me, it's an audio app. You can post, you can do many things on the app. But this is where I came to have my altar, so to speak, to speak about intelligent conversations, things that help you decompress during the week, things that help you speak from the highest point of your mind. Because we're being sold so much trauma and ratchet, I can get that anywhere. Where can you get this though? Where can you get this intellectual prowess? Where can you get this motivation? Where can you get this type of tone and speech from the highest parts of your mouth, of your brain, and how you speaking? And no, we're not doing false realities of playing immature games right now. We're speaking at a higher level. We're acting. We're competitively sinking into this higher level. And I am so elated just to be here today to have this conversation. I am here. And those who are listening, we're almost talking for about 10 minutes now. And I just want to encourage you to accept the learning curve. Accept the learning curve. Be an everyday learner. You can let go of that thing that you were holding on to because you don't know what's on the other side. But you know this thing burns. You know this thing grips a little tight. Stop looking for the good in things that hurt you the most. It's time for a change. And I'm one to push back against change. I am guilty of being comfortable with knowing my schedule, my time, what things are coming at me, nothing to change. But that's not the world we're living in. A world of vast technology, a world of kids growing up faster because they're exposed to more. You have to create your community, your circle. And you can have your pockets. Like you can have your ratchet section, you can have your intellectual section, your money section, your going out section. But then think about what type of situations you're putting yourself in with these sections. And then you will realize that your circle needs to be smaller. Your options of people being around needs to be smaller. Your representation of what people are around you need to be smaller. Have to be. We all like a little gossip and drama every now and then. We all like to make money for sure, but we all want to be safe. And there's different worlds out there. One thing about what I'm learning about today's society is that you have to create the world you want to live in. You have to have the infrastructure, the logistics, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding. And you have to understand and not be ignorant to the fact that if you don't work on creating your world, one world will be created for you through your actions. It's all going to be created regardless. It's created every day, whether you're cognizant of it or not. What are you building towards? If you're sitting there right now listening to my voice and you just have nothing to do and you're like, man, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know. I would suggest doing something I read in Will Smith's book. Go brick by brick. Find something and go brick by brick. Lay the layers up and continue to build your castle. What is it that you want to do? Did you write it down? What is it that you want to do? Do not think about how much it costs right now. What is it that you want to do? Don't think how impossible it is right now. That's our problem. That is my problem. I let that seep in. That's called doubt. That's called sight and not vision. When you start to say, I can't see this happening, so why even try? Where am I going to get this from? What are you holding on to that's holding you back? Why not have the vision, the hope in you? The world will beat hope out of you, or it will make hope feel numb to you. Because at times, hoping is all we have. And then when you think about the lineage of the history of people and think about those who just died hoping, it's really daunting. But we can't give up there. I say that to say all of it is important. Start writing things down. Laws are passed in countries that are written down, and people follow them. People follow the law because it is written. Because your morality and your character and your maturity says, I need to follow what's on this paper. So why not do the same thing for yourself, for your successes? Why can that mentality and your morality kick in for what you want and the goals you have written down? Because this toxic situation's in the way, or this toxic person is in the way, or if I do this, this person won't like that. They don't want me to grow. Or are you just being really, 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 really selfish and not thinking about what it does to other people for you to just to be free and be you? What does that look like? Are you calculating these things? Or are you just doing stuff? It's dangerous. It's dangerous. I recently did an interview with the God 720. He said emotions are dangerous. And though I know this already, to hear people say it out loud to remind me that emotions are dangerous is a big reason why we have so many people doing things in morality that are just low-hanging fruit these days. Emotions are dangerous. Very. Think about what emotion you create so you won't leave the situation that's toxic for you. Think about the consideration you give the situation that the other side will never give you. There's a movie called Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey. And if you're familiar with this movie, God gave Jim Carrey all his powers. But the one thing he cannot do is make someone love you. You cannot make someone love you. I am guilty of putting my all into relationships with people, friends, thinking they will turn around and say, man, thank you for all you've done. The one thing I'm learning about love and like, that is just given. It's a given. It's not really earned, because some people are just loving people to the point where they love you and they're willing to sit here with you and give you reciprocity till you grow as a person. Some people, you stuck behind the 8 ball. You're just trying to earn. Well, if you do this, you earn my respect. Well, if you do this, they put things in your way. They put obstacles in front of you to earn their love so they can recognize you. No bueno. No good. Basuda. I wouldn't do it for you anymore. I realize people who love something love it. They love the smell of it, the sight of it. They like it. They treat it good. They respect it first. Acknowledge it. Respect goes such a long way. And who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? I thought I had it down, but every day I deal with these same things I'm talking to you about. Are we holding on or holding ourselves back? I pray that you find your voice in the dark. I pray that you are cognizant of what that thing is that is stopping you from growing to the next level. I pray that you look at the accountability that you created first before you blame anyone else. I pray that you don't blame anyone else and take full responsibility. Even if you're the victim, take the full responsibility of forgiveness, starting over and moving forward. You can cut out the fat. Get it out the way. I know there are so many raw deals and circumstances that people have with their health, mental health, physical health, blessings, money, opportunities, wars. Some people live in war zones. I still believe there's a God in you that can summon a light in the darkest times. I have hope for that. And I believe in that. So don't be stagnant. Get moving. To God be the glory. I felt led to say that. And be grateful for what you have. Go do an inventory. That's what you should do. Before I go, how about you go to one of these platforms, like a ChatGPT or whatever platform you use, Google, Firefox, whatever it is, and you ask them to make a list of things you should be grateful for, and do a checklist. See what things you have in there. And life is number one. Hopefully you have your health, your right frame of mind, that you're able bodied and willing to move. And go from there. And if you're a person who felt like you achieved all, find someone to help. And when you help, do not play judge, jury, executioner, because you're just going to give. Because when we do that, if it's really about helping, whether they squander the help, spend the money on something else, take the item and sell it, you transgress something that was going against the negative energy of that person. I'm not trying to say jump in there and this whole thing is about what you're holding on to. So I don't want you to jump in there and just try to be running around saving people. But you know what I mean in terms of if you have achieved a certain level of tranquility, hopefully you see someone you can pass that love on to and pay it forward. Peace and blessings. I hope you guys have a good day. Take care of yourself.